Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, TGIF. I have not been live all week long, so I'm coming to you live, and we'll be live tonight at 7 p.m. also for the Rebecca Lynn Pope Show Friday night edition, since we postponed from Wednesday. Hello, Kim Akia. Hi, sweetheart. The Angel Marie. Hi, beautiful. Auntie Shalise, hey sweetie. New Sheila, hey honey. Chanel Nelly Marie, I'm so glad I'm in time for this. I was watching on YouTube, so happy to catch you live. That's from Kim Akia. Thank you, sweetheart. Holy Holinda, you should go on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Okay, thank you. I don't know who that is. True Jaguar 3, hi sweetie. Shan Best, hello everyone. Honey Brown 404, Missy LTV, hello. Dr. Trila, hi. Hello everyone. So the message today, yes, I'm drinking my iced tea out of a wine glass. The message today, only one soul say, hey honey, I loved your show. Thank you, True Jaguar. Lala Brown 41. Hello everyone as you're coming on. Okay, the message today is you can do hard things. Now, the reason I'm coming on to talk about this is because some of you are going to need, now I'm going to just say all of us, are needing to focus on ourselves. You need to focus on yourself in this season. It is so easy. Focus on yourself, sweetheart, right? You're going to have to focus on yourself in this season. Everyone's looking for love. Everyone wants to be married. They're dating. Where's my soulmate? Where's this significant other? Where's this love interest? Rebecca, how do you date? Okay. I'm going to tell you something that you really need to know. The life of your dreams and the things you are wanting are on the other side of you doing some very hard things. Even learning how to date. Going to take the Divine Dating course with me. Monica Spencer bought a badge. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Dr. Keely Petty. Hey, sweetheart. So listen. Yes, you can want results in your life. But if you keep avoiding doing the hard things, you're going to stay stuck in cycles and patterns that are repetitive and not getting you the results that you really want to get and that you deserve. What do I mean by hard things? Rebecca, what do you mean by hard things? What are you talking about? I'm talking about the things that God keeps bringing around to your awareness about yourself, about your friends, about partners, about people in your life, about parents. There are things that God, Jasmine, my cousin, hi baby. God keeps bringing these things into your awareness. And you keep repeating the same lessons and finding yourself at the same place every 6 to 9 months, every year, every 2 years. You find yourself right back at the same lesson that you were at last year, that God tried to get your attention about last year. He tried to shake you awake in that last relationship. He tried to get you to correct some very hard truths that you didn't want to face back in that other season, but you thought you could get through it by ignoring it, minimizing it, denying it, being delusional about the truth of the situation you're really in. There you go, Dr. Keely. At the root issue, not going back and dealing. You've made some mistakes. You've made some poor choices. You have been misled by some people. You have been manipulated by other people. See, and until you admit that you've made a wrong choice or you've made a mistake or that there is some behavior that has got to be rectified. There's some behavior. Alyssa, my baby's watching. Jasmine, tell her I said I love her. Listen, there is some stuff that's got to get corrected. And let me tell you something. Don't think it's going to be easy. This stuff don't feel good. I was talking to my assistant this morning. I was saying, you know, what I've learned about God up to this point in my life. Chanel says you teaching good, prophet, right? What I've learned up to this point in my life is that people often misjudge what is God. What is God? Dr. Keeley says it's shovel season. It's time to start digging deep. We often mistake, because when you're in a good season, when you're in a season when things are going good, it's God. But when you're in a tearing down and a tearing away and a revealing season, and God is stripping and revealing and showing you the hard truths of your life, you want to say it's the enemy, it's the devil, this ain't right, that's not a God, division isn't of God. Depression ain't of God. Divorce ain't of God. Separation ain't of God. I will honor my parents. I will honor my husband. I will honor my wife. I'm going to honor my friends. But time out. Time out. See, sometimes what's up is down and what's left is right. Sometimes what seems so right to the world is actually wrong. And while you're keeping up appearances, and while you're so busy worrying about what people are going to think, and while you're so busy trying to be a representative of God or a representative of Christ, you don't realize you're misleading yourself because you ain't happy. Everything's not okay. But you keep doubling down on the delusions and the lies that you've created and that you've helped to create in your own life and in the life of others, because you keep doubling down on the BS. And God's coming in trying to correct all the falsehoods and house of cards that you've created. So guess what doesn't feel good? Correction. When you go into a correction season and it is time to dig deep into truth and separate fact from fiction, and it is now time for you to make some hard choices, for you to do some things that are rooted in self-discipline and obedience to spirit and spiritual maturity and emotional intelligence and mental health. And it's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to stop acting like a child. It's time for you to take authority over your own life. It is time for you to be responsible for yourself and your choices. It is time for you to cast down all the vain imaginings of your mind and separate fairy tale from reality. It is time for you to admit that you need some therapy, that you need to dig deeper, even to get honest with your therapist, because your therapist can only help you to the extent that you are honest. Therapists can't help you with the ish you hide. Therapists can't help you with the stuff that you're denying to yourself. You can do hard things, but you have to make up your mind that you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. Because I'm telling you right now that if you want your next level of abundant life, where's my church? Abundant Life Nation. If you want your next level of abundant life, you're going to have to get honest with your MFing self. Yes, I said MFing, because some of y'all need to really hear me. You lying to yourself. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop blaming your mama. Stop blaming your daddy. Stop blaming your husband. Stop blaming everybody. It's not your friends. It's not your grown kids. It's not your mama and them. You need to stop lying to yourself. If you've got low self-esteem, you need to admit it. If you are an enabler and you do too much and it cripples and hinders the people around you because you do too much and enable people without to not face the consequences of their own choices, guess what? You gotta own that ish. If you want some results that are on the other side of self-discipline and mental maturity, you got to tell yourself it's time to MF and grow up. It's time to face some hard truths about myself. It's time to admit maybe I've been naive. Maybe it's time for me to mature and put on my big girl panties and my big boy pants. And it's time for me to approach the world for how the world really is and what the world we're really living in. This ain't Sesame Street. This ain't no fairy tale. You out here in a big boy world. Everybody don't have your heart. Everybody don't want good for you. And if you're really honest, some of the ish you've done in secret is malicious and manipulative. Some of this stuff, your secrets that you hide from people, that you don't want people to know the truth about you. You don't want people to know about your secret behavior. And it's your secret behavior that is speaking to why you're being hindered from where you want to go. Your secrets, the ish nobody knows about. While you're busy posturing and acting, I'm so this, and I'm such a good person, and I'm a man of God, and I'm a woman of God, and I am got it so together, and I've got a good heart. Okay, yes, you do. But what about that ish over there you don't talk to nobody about? What about that ish over there that you hide? What about the stuff you're doing after 1 a.m.? What about the stuff you're doing that you think nobody needs to know about? That's the ish that has to be addressed. That's the elephant in the room that is sowing seeds into your life, that is bearing fruit that keeps sabotaging you. Hard things. Hard things. What are the hard things? Accepting the truth about people you love. Accepting the truth about yourself. Holding yourself accountable to change and to do better. Holding those you say you love accountable to do better. Hard things. See, there's some stuff you need to do that ain't gonna make sense to some people. That dream God's put in your heart where you need to downsize and go into a studio apartment so you can minimize your overhead so that you can sow money into your dreams that God's put in your heart. But people are used to you living on this elevated lifestyle, so they can't understand if you go and get yourself a studio apartment or get rid of that car note and you ain't driving luxury for a season of your life. See, you afraid to take a step back so that God can give you 5 steps forward. God keeps putting it in your heart to do some hard things that you keep resisting because you worrying about what people think. Your ego is in the driver's seat of your vehicle. And you worrying about all the wrong things when God is trying to bring correction in order to elevate you to your next level. You can do hard things. Can I tell you something I've learned? Don't nobody care where you live. Don't nobody care what you drive. You know who cares about that? You. All this stuff in your head about worrying about what people think of you. Do you understand how self-involved people are? Do you understand that people are more concerned? The only reason they're looking at what you driving is to compare it to what they driving. It's about self. People aren't really concerned about how you live, what you drive, what money you make. That is all posturing in your ego that you think you are trying to impress people. People will take 1 second look at your Mercedes and don't even do a second glance, a double take. And in the meantime, you killing yourself with a $1,500 car payment because you didn't even invest in getting your credit together before you ran out to get a luxury car, and you paying $1,500 a month for a car to impress people who don't even give you a second look, who don't even care about that car because they don't even really like you. So forget about the car because they don't even like the person in the car. Because truth be told, the people who really like you would like you in a Honda, in a Toyota. The people who really jamming with you, really down with you, really believe in you, really loyal to you and love you, they don't care what you driving. So you over here killing yourself because you want to live in this apartment and you want to be in this house and you want to be in this neighborhood and you want to drive this and you want to go take these trips. You killing yourself trying to go into debt, trying to impress people or have experiences that you are neither financially ready for or that are going to set you back and delay your larger dreams because you're not exercising spiritual maturity and financial maturity. You're not fiscally responsible. But yet, God increased my money. God add a zero to this bank account. God looking at you like you don't even manage the money you got. Very well. You over here worried about the wrong things. If I give you some more money, you just gonna be blowing it to impress people who don't care about you. Why am I going to give you some more money and you ain't going to do the right things with it? I'll wait. You asking for a wife. You asking for a husband. You don't even know how to love yourself. You going to jack somebody else's life up. Your self-esteem ain't healed. You don't have discipline around your spirituality and your spiritual principles and your spiritual practice. You ain't got self-discipline, nor self-esteem, nor self-love. But, oh, God, I just want a husband. God, I just want a wife. What makes you think you know how to love somebody in a healthy way if you don't even know how to love yourself in a healthy way? You just gonna be passive aggressive, be obsessive compulsive. You gonna be giving more than you getting. You gonna become what? An enabler. You gonna be overdoing things, overcompensating because you don't feel good about you deep on the inside. So you're doing the absolute damnedest too much because you don't even have personal boundaries to understand what healthy relationships look like. So guess what? Oh, I just don't want to be alone. Oh, Rebecca, I just want a boyfriend. I just want a girlfriend. Rebecca, just teach me how to date. Oh, Rebecca, I want my soulmate. With as jacked up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually as most people are, and I just want to find the one. Okay, even with that, are you ready to take on other people's problems and traumas and pain and issues and now be distracted from your own blessings and your own dreams Because you now got this whole grown person in your atmosphere and in your environment who all their issues take over your life. You in couples counseling, individual counseling, you guys, you trying to read books and study up on how to be a better person for this person who ain't even invested in their own well-being. So you done taken on a whole liability and taking on all these issues because you didn't want to be alone. For some of y'all, I'm telling you, you don't want to be married. You're not ready to be married. In the state of affairs of our current culture and current society, the likelihood that you are even going to connect with somebody even halfway healed is slim to none. And I'm talking to men and women. Slim to none. So you out here don't realize it, gullible, vulnerable to take on a whole liability that's going to be subtracting from your life. You know, one of the biggest indicators for someone's mental health and emotional well-being? Their childhood. How many people do you know personally who had good childhoods? I'm going to ask you just some very real questions. How many people do you know personally who have had a good childhood? Because this is one of the things, if someone had a good childhood, they're less traumatized, less broken. So their toxic baggage or toxic load is not so heavy. They weren't abused, molested. I could go on and on. So then some of the most healthy relationships I know are between people who both had okay, decent childhoods that come together. They got some basic issues, but it's not toxic and crazy because they both come from decent backgrounds. So then, as they may not get therapy, but they're okay. But then you got the people who had a bunch of issues and they need therapy. But a lot of those people don't get therapy and get help and do any spiritual healing because most people didn't have really good childhoods. Kim says, thankfully, my parents hid their issues from me from my childhood perspective. It was perfect. 0 to 10 for me was the same. Kim, I had a great childhood till their adult issues started impeding on. But those formative years, 0 to 10 for me, were absolutely amazing. It is what has formed a foundation of healing and health in my personal life. Have I gone through things and encountered things, teenage years, 20s, that I have to heal? That I do still need therapy? I have to continually work on me? Yes. But if I'm saying to you, I come from a healthy childhood and I still had all these issues to work on that got layered on in young adulthood, 20s, 30s. If I still have to do all that work, what about the people who have been traumatized? What about the people who that's not their story? And there's lots more layers. And that's most people. And somebody said, especially in the Black community, especially in the Black community. How many Black men you know have good childhoods? How many Black women you know had good childhoods? Just speaking what I know. Speaking what I've seen. Speaking what I observed. Speaking what I know. Which means everybody's got to do healing work. But are you doing it? You've got to be willing to do the hard things. Admit to yourself, men, admit to yourself, I got to get in therapy. And I got to get honest in therapy so the therapist can actually help me to work through the deeper issues. I've got to get totally vulnerable and real with myself so that you can start navigating all those toxic layers of pain and trauma. You have to start You have to at least start, because it's work. You can't keep putting it off and not working on it and messing up people's lives. Your kids, your legacy, women, your family. It's a lot riding on you. It's a lot depending on you. You can do hard things. It's time for you to get honest with yourself. I don't come and tell you anything that I'm not holding myself accountable to. That is what I term and define as holistic leadership. I'm not holding you accountable for anything that I don't hold myself accountable for. I am speaking from a place of experience. I'm speaking from a place of truth, personal truth, that we have got to do the hard things. You have to take action and do the inner work. Yes, Ambitious 179. You can't just leave it in God's hands. Get busy doing the work. Get busy doing the hard things that you keep avoiding. Mr. Renee, I'm in therapy myself as we speak. And yes, I'm a man who does go to therapy. Mr. Renee, listen, we need more men like you. We need more men doing their own inner healing work. If you know you need to do healing work, make sure you have taken the Work Masterclass, our spiritual healing course. Take my spiritual healing course, the Work Masterclass. There's a link in my bio. I'll have Ashley, my assistant, create a discount code right now, 40% off. I'll post it in the bio and post it in the details for those of you who know you need to get serious to do therapy and your spiritual healing work combined to get more results, faster results. It's time to dig deep. I'll have her activate a code for you guys, for whoever watches this video. My blessing to you, to honor those of you who are willing to do what you need to do. Willing, able, showing up, determined. 40% off. I'm going to activate it as soon as I get off and tell my assistant. Guys, it's time. Tasha says, how do you stay consistent in the corrections? Guys, what I do, I'm not always as consistent as I need to be. Guess what? I try to stay obedient to Holy Spirit. What does that look like? It means that every morning I pray and I meditate and I journal and I'm getting still so that God can give me awareness of what I need to work on. Not Carrie, not my kids, not my staff. What does Rebecca need to work on? What do I need to clean up on my side of the street? Do you guys know that is forever ongoing? When you seek healing and you're asking God, show me, search me, God, show me my heart, show me the mindsets that are not benefiting me, show me the toxic patterns and habits that I have that I need to keep working on. God, keep always showing me, and I will show up. I will work on what you show me. There's always a level of surrendering and grace and humility to say you're never, ever, ever just going to have it figured out. You're never, ever, ever just going to be perfect and you're all good. No, I'm talking about me. God, create in me a clean heart. Teach me to think right. Help me. Guide me to the right tools and resources. That's why you're on my page right now. I'm always pointing to the work, always pointing to the seeking, always pointing to the alignment, always pointing to therapy, tools, resources, homework, courses. Always. Fabit says, 1992, I've been healing for over a year, and there are times I need to sit still because I still want to control situations, but I'm working on letting go. Can I tell you guys something? You're only in control of you. You can't manifest healing for nobody else. You can't manifest results for nobody else. Nobody's getting out of this alive. You are only accountable for you. It starts with you. Everything you desire is on the other side of you looking inward and dealing with the inner man. Dark Coco Coils says, yes, I know for sure God has brought me here. God bless you. Thank you, sweetheart. Only One Sose says, like you said, sometimes you have to speak over your own life. It is time for us to take authority and power over our own life and stand up to do the hard things. That's my message for you today. I'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. We've got guests tonight on the RLP show. We're going to take some questions and answer some questions. We're going to have some good times tonight, 7 p.m. tonight. The main reasons that Mr. Renee says, the main reasons that I'm in therapy was because of problems that began in childhood minus any sexual abuse. Renee, ding, 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 ding. Started in childhood. That's everybody, guys. Stuff that started a long time ago that we have to now be responsible for. Asking for a friend maybe says, Miss Rebecca, is there such a thing as being too invested in my healing? I feel so selfish. No, baby. No. Invest in your healing. Focus on you. If I was going to rename this video something else, I say, focus on yourself, sweetheart. Focus on yourself. We get so caught up. Our hearts are so good, guys. We tend to focus on everybody else. You got to focus on yourself. You got to be responsible for yourself. Oh, Jabari Bra says, I found your page watching the Roommates podcast. Thankful for having found your page. Thank you, Jabari. Thank you for your support. Listen, take the Work Masterclass. The Work Masterclass. Sign up. 40% off. I'm going to put the code in the caption. Love from London. Jillian, love you too, sweetheart. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go. I got to do some work. I'm working on all these courses and new stuff I'm about to release. I got to get back to work. I love you. I love you guys. God, I thank you. I thank you for every person on this call today, on this live. I thank you for everyone who's going to catch it in replay. I ask you, God, to convict hearts. Bring correction in this season. The conviction that it is time to work on self. It is time to set aside every distraction. It is time to focus on self like we've never focused before. It is time to run this race. It is time to get busy doing the hard things and facing the hard truths so that we can begin to manifest results in abundant life like never before. God, we thank you for your grace. We thank you for mercy. We thank you, God, that our best days are ahead. We thank you even now for revelation. And we thank you for the testimonies that are going to come out of everyone doing what they need to do for themselves. Blessings in abundance. I will talk to you guys soon. Make sure you get the Work Masterclass. Links in the bio. Okay? I love you. Blessings in abundance. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.